Ah, yes, a timeless classic, PanzerGruppe Guderian. I really enjoyed this game. I played it at the tournaments about 30 years ago. That's the last time I played it, and I did pretty well. And now me and my son are taking a gander at it. And what I really like about historical board games is the fact that if they are truly trying to represent the tactical situation on a battlefront, then it will come across in the game. And I believe this game does that. This game has to do with panzer group formations and the way the Germans articulated their panzer groups. It was unheard of and unprecedented up until that time. They really did a good job at it. And when I discuss games, I like to put forth what your goal is and what you should be looking at and how you're going to go about achieving your objectives in a game, which a lot of people don't do that. And so I like to do that, especially for new players. Now, again, it's been 30 years since I played this. And I can tell you just by reading the memoirs I've been reading in Armored Warfare, Panzer Group leaders such as Hermann Hoth, Heinz Guderian, Hopner, Rommel, Patton, Maurice Rose, they all understood one basic concept. It was speed and mobility. You always had to have it. You did not want your panzer units, your regiments, getting bogged down into prolonged fights and engagements. So you're trying to break through the enemy line at weak spots, surround the enemy, cut them off, and keep moving. That's the idea of this game. Surround them, cut them off, keep your panzer forces moving. And this is in the words of Heinz Guderian before World War II. Until our belief in tanks properly employed, his faith was based upon strategic speed, to be able to move faster than hitherto, to keep moving despite the enemy's defensive fire, and thus to make it harder for him to build up fresh defensive positions. And in this game, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to break out. We're trying to move fast. We're trying to surround Smolensk and prevent the Russians from setting up a solid defense. Now, that's easier said than done, because let's take a look at the Russians. And this game does a very good job with the Russian units also, the untried Russian unit, because on the Eastern Front, in the beginning, the Russians never knew what they were going to get from their units. And so you don't know what you're going to get. So you're placing these Russian units around in untried states. Now, once they become tried in battle and they're, strong pieces, then you try to move them about to put up a solid defense at certain spots. And of course, you want to take full advantage of the terrain. That's the cities, the rivers, and the woods. And that's where you want to try to put up your defense. Now, you also want to try to bog down the motorized units of the Germans. Don't let them have that mobility. I think it was Panzer Group Hoth that came in from the north side who assisted in taking Minsk and Vitebsk. And I think he lost half his motorized forces, because even though he's not trying to get engaged and not trying to have a prolonged combat going on, he was getting bogged down, and the Russians just kept throwing forces at him, and he lost half his forces. So me and my son, like I said, I haven't played for 30 years. He's never played. We played for about 4 turns to get the game mechanics down. Then we had another game about 8, 9 turns. And then we started this one. We felt we knew the game system again pretty well, and so we started this. And you can see here what I'm pointing out to him is you sure you want to set up just around the cities and not try to put a line, blocking me from getting through? And he said, nope. He says, you need to take the cities for points, and I'm going to defend the cities. I thought, wow, okay. So this is his setup. As far as my jets went, I put him up there because his reinforcements are coming from back there. Okay, this is the Russians' first turn. He was able to move one group out of Smolensk. I believe it was the 16th Army. And he brought it up here to block that. Pretty good move, good move. He moved this one back here that I have the 3 planes set on by rail right here. He moved that group up, good move. Now, the only question I have for him is, you don't want to defend this area at all?
No, I wanted to keep my armies a little more close-knit and stronger together so that they're not all spread out and weak and can't be easily overrun.
So this is just my first movement, and rushing in here as fast as I can, and I rushed in the middle as fast as I can. I tried to spread out my infantry here to engage him and prevent him from trying to block me off here. I couldn't do nothing about this yet. I'll have to worry about that later. I want to blow a hole right through here. I didn't want to overrun yet. It is an army unit, and I couldn't cut it off by supply. So I'm just going to attack it. So just to let people know how this goes, he was in command of this Soviet leader right here, the radius, but he is cut off. This one does not reach. He's in the woods. So he's doubled to a 16, but then he's cut back in half because of all that. So he's an 8. And then, of course, we get to double all the German regiment. He decided to retreat the unit. I retreated him back out of my way. It's my second move. Okay, first turn's over, and I'm just trying to move as fast as I can, trying to always leave myself some maneuverability going on. So I'm engaging these so he can't really move on me. That's all I'm trying to do. Not give him too much freedom of movement. I tried an overrun right there, and I got hurt, so I lost one step. So it was my first step lost out of this regiment right here. But all right, turn number 2. So before we go to turn number 2, I don't want to make this video real long, but you see how what my idea is, if I can engage some of his Russian units, he can't move them into better defensive positions, right? That's part of the tactic. Hit him when he's not in prepared, good terrain defenses, if you can. So you'll see me doing that. Now, as far as overruns go, I thought I did quite a bit of overruns, but after this game, I'm realizing, you know what? I should probably do more overruns. You really have to take advantage of just attacking, and attacking. So, yeah, you're going to get hurt, like I tried one there, but hey, you have step losses to take. By the end of the game, every unit I had was down a step loss. I might have had one fresh motorized regiment out of all my units. So, do a lot of overruns.
It hit me a lot faster.
Okay, so Soviet second turn is done. Now, this force we forgot to bring in on turn 1. He rolled for all his single die rolls, turn 1, turn 2. They were in the back there. He moved by rail up to, that usual Vyazma city where I have my jets. First 2 turns, I put all 3 jets out there to keep the rail movement down. He did cut off this force right here. He couldn't do much about this. He didn't want to leave Smolensk totally unoccupied yet. Again, I get no reinforcements on turn 2. So what I like to do on turn 2 is just kind of attack and kill some things and keep some areas open. So on turn 3, I can really bring my forces on and get somewhere. So, all right, so I did some attacks. Oh, I killed one Russian step. Other than that, disrupted from overruns. And right here, I lost 2 steps in my attacks. Different units. Oh, and I kind of did a dumb attack. I used my infantry and attacked here, and it ended up being 1-2, and I lost my entire infantry regiment or division. So that was very unfortunate. Bad move on my part. But being aggressive is one thing, but taking dumb risks is another. So it's my second movement. All right, that's the end of my turn. I'm trying to get around Smolensk to cut it off. I wasn't able to, whatever I planned, I would not be able to cut this off because he was tracing supply this way. So I didn't want to spread me out too far here, so I kept him right there. I wanted to get on this side of the river though. So that was my main goal here is to get on this side of the river, and that way he can't put up a solid defense, but we'll see. So you can see here, part of my defense is the river running through Smolensk is to control both sides of the banks. That way he can't set up a defensive line behind it, because it is hard to bust through the river when he knows he has powerful forces and he sets them up there. So I'm trying to keep him away from the river. Now over here he gets reinforcements. So the first two turns I'm putting my interdiction over at Vyazma, but now I put him down here where his reinforcements are coming in to keep him from getting up here to Smolensk. All right, Soviet turn's done. He still hasn't initiated an attack yet. And just want to say, as a Soviet player, you really don't initiate a lot of attacks. I mean, I think he may have initiated a few this entire game, because why take any chances or show your untried units if they happen to be weak? But I mean, unless an attack is really good odds or you absolutely need the hex, the Russians don't need to attack. He did block my road movement here, so at the start of movement, yep, out of supply. It's my turn 3, big reinforcements coming in. And I'll tell you, just the way he put this, and the forces coming in H, I can't even get around. I'm having a very hard time surrounding Russian units up here, and I just have to do frontal attacks until I can get forces around. But on the second move, of course, you can't attack. So he's really slowing me down, taking some time. But anyways, we opened up. I did overrun this unit. Finally got a weak Russian unit, and we're able to remove the supply here. They'll be removed when we do our attacking. Trying to advance as quickly as possible, and I need Smolensk. So, what's your comment?
I was saying, I think you're getting pretty risky with the way you're doing it now. You're leaving a lot of weak one man out of supply people around that I think I could easily kick out.
All right.
We'll see.
He may do some attacking. We'll see. All right, so we have the Soviets doing their first attack because he cut me out of supply.
No, I learned my lesson that unless the odds are like heavily stacked in my favor, or I have like way more men than you, I just can't really attack you, you know?
All right, so you've seen that attack. He used the entire stack on me, and he's in supply everywhere. So he disrupted, or I lost 2 steps in that stack. Any other attacks? And so we are done with turn number 4. So right here, since he put his plane for air interdiction, I was not able to trace supply. Otherwise, I would have been able to trace supply through my friendly hex this way to the road. So he's debating about using his interdiction for a second time on turn 4.
Because Smolensk
Because he's
is
trying to
all
save
the
me
way
from hitting
surrounded.
that. Yep.
Just delay it by a turn. Yeah, I'll use another plane.
All right, he put another interdiction in. So, most of these forces are all cut off again.
Yeah, I don't think these are, right?
Well, if I can't reach 20 to the edge of the board, they're cut off. Okay, so I'm trying to free up my guys because Smolensk, I got to get on it quick. So, this is just an overrun at 2-1. I'm going to do it. I got to do it. Let's see what I get. 1, good roll. 2-1, and it's a D2. So I got to move you 2 steps, right?
Yep.
We're going to back you up to there, and you're disrupted. And it cost me 3 to enter that 4-5 because it was a swamp. Okay, I just wanted to show that because now, at the instant of combat or overrunning, then you determine supply. Movement is determined at the beginning of the movement phase. So as far as my first movement is, they're still out of supply right now. This one guy in the forest is preventing me, and I'm already lost a step in my gross doucheland there, and this is preventing me from moving on. So I got to get rid of him, and he's out of supply.
I can't overrun him because he was out of supply movement. This guy doesn't have enough movement points because I already were over in here. So I'm just got to attack this and get rid of this and get around. That's what I got to do.
All right, this is the end of turn 4. And I'm really trying to go all out and trying to get Smolensk before he can get set up. And I think I'm doing it, but as you can see, every unit I have is engaged, and I'm taking step losses. All right, well, I got no overruns, and I'm pretty much getting bogged down here. I got to win some combats. I'm going to go through the combat, and we'll show you how it looks at the end of turn 5. Okay, what a tough battle this is. I mean, we're just battling it out here, and I don't own Smolensk, that's right.
That's that one.
I was trying to take it, but he held on to it right here. But anyways, we got this. I'm trying to cut off the whole force as I'm moving these things up. All my attacks went pretty well, except this one down here. Down here just took a little beating here, but everything else went well. And you reinforced a couple hexes there, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm really getting bogged down here. Well, thank goodness he doesn't have leaders around these spots and in the back by Vyazma and here, because he's only moving half. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I'm trying to cut off this force, but it looks like...
Nah, everything's good.
Well, let's see. He can go through there.
They can all go through.
They can all come out this way,
Yeah.
so...
Ah, like a little cockroach. I always do that.
Well, I can split up the division if I have to.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But still, it really don't matter. Even if I leave a guy here, you can... We are having a hard battle here, but I may have surrounded this and cut this off finally. It was hard to get this cut off because we keep getting engaged, and now I'm just fighting and fighting and fighting, and my units are becoming, less and less capable because I keep losing steps. Now it looks like my son found that this leader can supply this, and then through an occupied friendly hex here, and then this is a free hex, and then he comes out this side like this. So it looks like these can all be supplied. This is the only units that are out of supply. So good job. So as a D1A1, I chose to lose a step. He chose to retreat. So he wanted to be freed up, but so did I. Any other attacks? That's only like his 3rd attack in the game. He has my road cut right here. I would have to try to trace supply around the road and then off. So it's my movement. My reinforcements came on. I want to get these guys coming up the road. But here, these two are in supply, but because he used his air interdiction for the 2nd time this turn, everybody here is cut off. So that's a good move.
My own men.
Okay, so I'm at a quagmire here because I just need to attack and try to kill things here. I failed this attack here. I used all 3 of these. I lost 2 steps, so I had to kill a division of motorized air, and he didn't lose anything. That really hurt. You can see on turn number 8, not much has changed. I freed up that, but I went and cut the railroad line here because I don't want any more forces coming up. So, ended turn number 7. I freed up my Das Reich from over here, so I need to get this cut off right here. I have 2 groups now. So let's see what he does here.
No attacks?
Yeah. Okay. End of the Russian turn 8. We have the end of turn 9, and I'm really bottled up at Smolensk. If I don't start breaking out here, it's going to be all over. All right, this game's coming down to the wire. I finally freed up the forces that were at Vitabesk, Mogilev. So I was able to free up 4 different mobile units. All right, end of Soviet's turn. I'm starting to realize my biggest mistake is not cutting this out. I thought I had this cut out of supply on turn 7, and I would roll it up pretty quick, but he kept opening supply by moving units and able to trace out of it. So that is one of my biggest mistakes. Good job on his part. So now I'm having to make frontal assaults with him in supply, and I'm moving slowly at this point. But so turn number 10 went very well with me, and I'm next to Smolensk now on the 2nd hex. I already own 1.
And I think I have officially cut this off now. I don't know if he can do anything. We'll see, because he keeps coming up with tricks. And I got this one cut off pretty well right now too. We're going to see, he's going to roll the dice. Hopefully he don't get somebody coming in right here. Let's see, roll the dice. What do you got in your reinforcement? 4. Now he's coming in from back here. So that helps me. So let's see what happens. That's the end of Soviet turn number 11. All right, I overran this guy in the city and he was a 0. Eliminated it, so. Took the city and I'm gonna move these forces up. All right, we're on the last turn of the game.
I think you can cut it.
And for me to win, or at least get a marginal victory, I need to have Smolensk here. But he opened up his supply yet again. It goes through this route right here. And I'm trying to keep blocking it, but I should have just kept my forces more around in a circle, but I didn't do it.
I think for you, yeah, I was gonna say.
But
I think for you, sorry, go ahead.
for me to move, I need to cut. So if I bring, this is a German, and he already went, so I don't have to worry about it. So if I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this is cut, this is cut, this is cut. And then I gotta cut it here. I think I can still cut them off. Yeah.
What I was gonna say though,
What?
I think as the Germans, it's very important, like you said, keep a solid line and not any gaps, because that's where I keep getting through on you on both sides. If
Yeah.
you just had more of a solid line, I wouldn't be able to get through.
You're right. I think you're absolutely right. Especially when it comes around to that city, which you're fighting hard for, you know? So let's attack first. What did we say, man?
4-1.
D1, A1.
I can retreat right
You
there.
can too. You want to retreat one?
Yeah. Not that really matters.
Which guy you want to retreat? Alright, so the attack's done.
General Yasharkov has seen a lot of. So I'm at a 8-16.
So you're 4.
I'm a 16.
You're a 16 to my 4, 5 to my 6.
Another 1 to 2. You need a 1
No. 6 times 3. Oh yeah, it's a 1 to 2.
You need another 1
I gotta
to
do
2.
another 1 to 2. Is this thing going? Yeah. Another 1 to 2. I died. Wow. But guess what? I can do this one. But I'm only a 5. What are you?
I'm a
16.
8. No. You're not across. I'm not across the river.
Oh, that's right. You're an 8. So it's a 1 to 2. Wow. 4? Yeah, you won. Yeah, that's it. Well, good game, son.
Wow, you got close at the end there.
I lost.
You should have been doing that all along.
Yeah, kind of, huh?
Shouldn't you?
Well, that just.
Well,
maybe.
we're learning. Dude, imagine doing that every turn, overrunning with each guy around me like that. You would have gotten that knockdown so quick. And I can't resupply it because I'm engaged. You would have had that in like 2 turns, I bet, if you would have
Yeah,
done that.
that's
the whole time.
true. You know, but you know, I'm taking a big chance on the 1 to 2s. It's attacker 1, attacker 2. I gotta lose those steps or back up, or you back me up.
Well, whatever, man. You gotta fight, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd do 1, 2 overruns. The only reason I was doing them now because I'm
Yeah.
desperate.
Yeah.
But you're right. Maybe 1 to 1s I should have been, but I could have still rolled a 5 or a 6. But anyways.
I don't know if that really counts, though.
I would need a 1 to 1 because on a 1 to 2, if I rolled a 6 and 8E, that means all my forces are eliminated. I wouldn't do that.
That's crazy.
So what I have to get yes, I think on 1 to 1s I should maybe attempt some overruns. More overruns. And keep this more solid defended. I let him open up the supply way too many times and he did a good job at that. So anyways, I lost again. That's 2 losses here. But good battle.